very good afternoon to you all. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Lunchtime News, the weekly roundup bulletin that brings you those headline stories that made news within this week. My name is Wadulo Arnold, and it's going to be an hours-long bulletin, so sit tight. It's time for the news. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week described the late General Eli Tumwine as a man who hated evil, and described those celebrating and criticized rather those celebrating the general's death. Museveni hailed Tumwine for his contribution to the NRA struggle, where he released the first bullet. This was during a nationwide dedicated service to the former security minister at Kololo Independence Grounds. These are the details.
It is a life well lived, a fact that everyone can appreciate. To join other Ugandans on Wednesday afternoon to celebrate the life of General Eli Tumwine was the head of state. President Yoweri Museveni recounted the roles that General Tumwine played during the NRA liberation struggle.
Tumwine knew Masindi, so we planned for it. And Tumwine linked us with a man called Kaka. You know Kaka? Kaka recently was in Iso, he had some issues, but he did a very good job. This Kaka was, I don't know what, he was a civilian in the town of Masindi. So, Tumwine told us there is a contact called Kaka. We went and got him. He came and joined us. I don't remember how he came, but when he came, we found that Kaka knew Masindi. Now, among the people working in the barracks was a grass cutter. This grass cutter knew everything about the barracks. He would sleep there, he would cut during the day and go and sleep outside. Now, Kaka recruited this one. So again, we knew the guns were there from the grass cutter. But the problem was, how were the barracks at night? Because we were going to attack very early in the morning. Were the soldiers ready? So again, I sent him Mugume Chaga, you go. He went. He went, and the soldiers were coming from drinking. He joined them and went and stayed near the barracks until morning. There was no alert. So we came. Masindi was a big success. We had 760 guns from there. This is Tumwine's work.
Known for firing the first shot in the Liberation War, Tumwine was described by President Museveni as a man who was resilient.
So after we were blaming Tumwine that he had panicked, he should not have fired, he should have wrestled with the man physically until we had entered the armory. But this is why I want you people to know, you non-believers. Actually, this was God who did this. God used Tumwine to fire by mistake, actually. But it was God's plan. Why? So, anyway, to cut a long story short, when the Tanzanians got in the armory, our people could not get in.
Museveni was, however, not impressed by a section of some Ugandans who had taken to social media to celebrate the general's death.
So, Tumwine and all these other people have joined the socio-economic transformation of that rural area. And I'm sure when you go there, you will see what they have done. And therefore, people who are insulting Tumwine, they are wasting their time, because Tumwine is somebody who has accomplished. Is somebody who has accomplished so much.
To join in prayer was the First Lady, Janet Museveni, who encouraged the bereaved family to put God first in everything they do.
I believe I can say that I understand the emptiness of that experience because I lost my own father when I was only 7 years old. And I know the insecurity of a home without a father. But since I found Jesus, I know that there is a Father who will never die. And I'm so grateful to him that Tumine's children have testified with their words there that they know that Father.
And I'm very happy to hear people saying that he died a satisfied man. That's what Amos is the one who was saying that. That he died a satisfied man. So, with these few words, may the Almighty God rest his soul in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
Other mourners praised the fallen general, calling on haters to honor the deceased.
Really, it's very unfortunate that some people can talk ill of General Tumwine at this time when the whole nation is mourning a well-lived life of a gallant son of Uganda.
I urge our society to learn to be civil, to give credit where it is due, to know that death comes to us all, and to give people their respect.
General Eli Tumwine died on Thursday, 25th August 2022 at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya. Burial is tomorrow, Tuesday, 30th August 2022 in Kazo District. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, the late general was, of course, laid to rest in Kazo district during the funeral ceremony attended by various dignitaries in Uganda. The Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, who was the chief mourner at the burial, laid him to rest.
At exactly 10 a.m., the body of the fallen four-star hero, General Eli Tumwine, arrived at Rwemikona grounds in Kazo district ahead of his last funeral service. The service attracted people from all walks of life as they sought to witness the final journey of a statesman who has served his nation beyond self. In attendance were ministers, members of parliament, local leaders, and members of the general public.
Stupidity is not an offense. The family of the deceased comrades is entitled to survivor benefits, the process of which will be explained to the beneficiary after the burial ceremony. Fare thee well, dear General, brother, comrade Eli Tumwine. May the Lord Almighty receive you with all the grace that abandon in his.
It is that General Eli Tumwine with others, including General Mutu, who is here. So and now we have in Uganda. We need to guard it seriously.
Former ministers Sam Kutesa and John Nasasira were among Tumwine's longest friends.
Then Chinana Mwena Kwafseho, Abakazovandonda, Nazum Parliament. Namara na Tumwine, Emiaka na Mushanjom Parliament. Omukago gwa politics gwa yongera gwanywana. Okukorera Kazo kumwe no kutesa kwa yongera.
Ekirani nyedagamba kugira ngo Tumwine afire n'emyaka 68. Ego namaze emyaka 68 emyaka mingi. Kongo enaremu yija abantu bakaba fabari n'emyaka average keri emyaka 43. Tuko emyaka 43. Mbwishati yokongera emyaka
aberene life ye nabata tumingiriki alwanirire.
Present were also retired Major General Mugisha Muntu and General Henry Tumukunde.
I know that has been said, but it is the truth. He was one of one. We are all uniquely made, but there is no one like Daddy. And why I say that is because when everyone walked in this direction, Daddy walked in the opposite one.
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja was the chief mourner at this service. The Premier eulogized the late Tumwine as one person who has been assertive, brave and courageous.
This is recent. Yes, every anyone. Yanga Mutayo Girabuja later and court. Also, is the Mukana Kugami. Umko was here about the Raja okay. After where Yasa office, the following day he came to Kampala in my office. I said, but for a he's not the type of person who will tell you that this is right when it is wrong.
She therefore tasked the remaining serving officers to emulate the departed hero.
To encourage that spirit.
At 4 p.m., the board of the longest serving member of parliament in Uganda's history, the fine artist, the 4-star general, father of many and hero, was lowered into its final resting home at a tune of 17 gun salutes. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kazo District.
May the general soul rest in eternal peace. Moving on, Karamoja sub-region leaders are not happy due to a delay in the 20 billion shillings recently promised to address the famine in the area. The vice chairperson of Karamoja Parliamentary Group, Albert Lokoru, said that they are disappointed over the fund's delays, yet the region is continuing to register deaths due to starvation.
Karamoja has for ages been prone to climate change and insecurity. This has affected food production, leading to famine in the region.
And it's very unfortunate that we lost people to hunger. Karamoja faced a very acute food shortage, and Kotilo district lost the highest number of about 1,000 lives.
This brought the attention of the legislators who proposed the allocation of 20 billion shillings to rescue the situation. However, these funds are reportedly far from reaching the intended communities.
It is not there. I don't know when government will react to Karamoja. The same way it is reacting to Bugishu when the floods actually showed up. When we have that attention and the pain, that is the same for the entire country.
The Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, committed herself to follow up the matter, saying that the funds would make an impact on the lives of the famine victims in the region.
Food of 17 billion is a lot of food. And I want you to really appreciate our initiative. Since when we went to the Ministry of Prime Minister's office, you can see the quality of food that we are sending. Have you seen the quality of food? Two, you can see that with the limited resources, the food that we get, or the food we buy, has been carried up to you.
In a bid to have a long-lasting solution to food insecurity in the region, local leaders have proposed for procurement of tractors to have farmers open a huge chunks of land for agricultural purposes.
Next year, we are looking at it that there will be again hunger.
And the best intervention, like was said, is giving our region tractors.
Very good area for us. And the tractors can be used here. Yes. And therefore, we shall prioritize tractors for Karamoja.
In a joint effort against famine in the region, government through the Ministry of Agriculture promised to support the region with agriculture inputs to supplement the provision of tractors.
We shall also give out seed for maize as well as seed for beans so that we can help the sub-region to come back to normal.
But this can only be achieved if 500 billion liters of water are retained in Karamoja sub-region through the distillation of valley dams that will serve farmers during the period of water scarcity.
5 billion liters. But as we talk, we have only managed to provide facilities for retaining only 10 billion liters of water, meaning that we have a long way to go.
All these resolutions were passed at the joint stakeholder meeting by the Office of the Prime Minister held in Moroto District to address food insecurity in the region. Joseph Okow, UBC.
Now, Operation Shuja, overall commander against the Allied Democratic Forces and other negative forces in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, Major General Bombel Camille and Major General Kayanja Mohanga of the UPDF have been impressed by the joint forces operations in the Eastern DRC. The two commanders of FRDC and UPDF are in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, boosting the morale of the forces and draw the final onslaught plans against splint ADF groups marauding that sector.
Boga, Chabi, Kainama areas where ADF had concentrated for decades and displaced Congolese families is now fully liberated. The joint forces have continued to execute their roles together, sharing intelligence and implementing orders to attain Operation Suja objectives. The overall Operation Suja commanders, Major General Bombelo Camille of FRDC and Major General Kayanja Mohanga of UPDF, are in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, boosting morale of the forces and draw the final onslaught plans against splinter ADF groups.
A lot of achievements. We have defeated them in their old camps, like I have said, in their former permanent camps. We have disrupted their communication network. We have disrupted their logistic network. We have disrupted their recruitment network. So, a lot of achievements.
My responsibility, my president Mbiri, ya DRC afande Felix Tshisekedi Chilombo na mheshimiwa afande Yoweri Museveni ya Uganda yenye bananipa mimi na General Kayanza, tukuna endelesha hiyo kazi na nadhani tutamfikisha kumwisho, na inaomba ma state yetu mbili itusaidie kwa hiyo kazi, kwamba adui huyu anafanya terrorism anakuwa kichwa nguvu sana.
The joint forces have heightened offensive against ADF in areas of Nyakibale, Mitego, Mululu, Lutete, Mugwanga, Balivia, Burasi, Oga, Chabi, Kainama, Matete to Zunguluka.
Majeshi ya DRC na majeshi ya Republic ya Uganda kila wakati tunakutanaka juu ya kufanya evaluation ya makazi yenye tunafanya, na tunakutana pia juu ya kutengeneza operation future.
In his remarks, Major General Kayanja Mohanga revealed that ADF have been weakened but still remain a threat to the region.
We have been carrying out in Eastern DRC to look at our achievements, to look at what we have been doing. Yes, we have at least managed to achieve the strategic objective of this operation.
Mohanga urged the forces to practice the elements of combat power. In August alone, 6 guns and 7 bombs of RPG recovered. 16 ADF men have been put out of action and 5 captured and spilled vital information. The joint military operations are done in areas of Beni, in North Kivu, Irumu, in Ituri, in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Haruna Mutesasira, reporting for UBC News in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
In other news, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week oversaw the retirement of 48 army generals from active military service at State House Entebbe. The retirees have been advised to embrace commercial agriculture and explore other opportunities outside military service, as these details share with us.
The Army Band entertained the ceremony as 260 senior UPDF officers were retiring after long serving in the UPDF. The 12th batch of the 2022-2023 retirees included
62 colonels, 65 lieutenant colonels, and 133 majors.
The adjutant at General Headquarters, Bombo Brigadier General Hassan Chimbowa, presented the names of the retiring officers who were handed the certificates by the Commander Land Forces, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba,
Tongsange Kawesa, Major Patrick.
There was a standing ovation to remember the soul of the late Colonel Igasa Jabi, who would be part of the retiring team, but passed on Sunday at Luaga Hospital.
RO 53532 Colonel Igasa Jabi, may his soul rest in eternal peace.
The retirement ceremony, presided over by the Commander Land Forces, was held at Land Forces Headquarters, Bomboluelo District. The Commander Land Forces Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba applauded the achievements of the UPDF, imploring the retirees and the entire UPDF army in securing the country.
Thank you most sincerely for the years and decades of dedicated service to our beautiful country, transitioning from active service to reserve forces now. You're still within the UPDF family. We finished and commissioned our operations center, which is behind here. Completed our perimeter wall. Bombo for the first time has a perimeter wall that covers the whole barracks. We fully renovated the houses of the Commander Land Forces, Deputy Commander Land Forces, and the Chief of Staff Land Forces.
In his farewell speech to the officers, the Camp Commandant General Headquarters, Major General Dr. Lake Joseph Chidega, implored the retirees for serving their country and transforming the UPDF, cautioning them against drug abuse.
From alcoholism, use of drugs, do physical exercises, and maintain balanced diets.
Colonel Sam Karogo Murali, on behalf of his fellow retirees, commended President Museveni for enhancing salaries for UPDF officers.
Yes, sir. We request you to extend our sincere appreciation to the Commander-in-Chief and the High Command for the recent salary enhancement that has brought a smile on the faces of the retirees and the serving officers.
The officers' send-off was officially closed with a ceremonial march out of the main gates of Bombo Land Forces Headquarters with the chanting and cheering. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
And in another development, Parliament this week passed the Anti-Terrorism Bill 2022, which seeks to prohibit actions leading to terrorism. The bill, among others, is also part of the domestic control measure to be undertaken to prevent proliferation of nuclear, chemical or biological weapons and other means of delivery. Parliament also passed 6 other bills in connection to countering terrorism financing, including the Anti-Money Laundering Bill 2022.
Members of Parliament have convened to fast-track several crucial bills which seek to control terrorism financing in Uganda. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, issued warning to members who miss Parliament sittings with no clear notice.
Are you representing your people? And you're talking about accountability. What are you accounting for? The money you're getting and using it and you're not anywhere? you're not helping your people, you're not legislating for them, we are forced to give you warning letters.
With guidance from the resolutions of the United Nations passed in 2004, Uganda seeks to fill the gap, urging all states in accordance with their national procedure to adopt and enforce appropriate effective laws which prohibit any non-state actor to manufacture, acquire, possess, develop, transport, transfer or use nuclear, chemical or biological weapons and their means of delivery, in particular for terrorist purposes. With the Anti-Terrorism Amendment Bill 2022, Uganda's position will be in line with the UN concerns.
Honorable members, I put a question that a report of the whole House be adopted. Those in favor, say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The report, as presented by the Parliament Committee on Defence and Internal Affairs, notices that the existing laws do not adhere to the UN Task Force standards on combating terrorism, as it does not specify offences of terrorism financing, hence urgent need for amendments.
It is a big step, in my view, towards getting us absolutely cleared by the Financial Action Task Force, but there are some other things that we need to do which could not happen before the law is put in place. For example, workshops on sensitization of people and teaching them about the implications of the law.
Parliament, in the same spirit, passed 6 other bills, including Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2022, Partnerships Amendment Bill 2022, Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill 2022, among others.
And how I pray that this House will not be deceived again with the cryptocurrency, a digital currency, and Attorney General, you need to take that up.
They will go a long way in getting us out of the quagmire or dilemma in which we are. But we promise to do better and not stampede the House like this. But I sincerely thank you.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
In other news, the board chairman, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, Kwame Ejalu, this week asked for greater collaboration with local communities in fostering a nationwide electricity connection. He made this appeal at the handover of newly constructed permanent houses in West Nile region to the locals affected by the construction of a high voltage transmission line from Karuma to Arua City. Dennis Segoa with more.
Angelina Anyaka, a resident of Ayira village in Madiokolo district in the West Nile region, sits in front of a newly constructed 3-bedroom strong house. She's among residents who surrendered a portion of their land to Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited for the construction of the high voltage transmission line.
I would like first of all to start by thanking the people of Ayira village and Ulepi sub-county. You are an exemplary people to work with. You have made our work here very simple. If every sub-county and every village behaved like you did, power would have reached many places of Uganda much earlier.
Rather than receiving money for the inconveniences caused since it involved the destruction of her grass-thatched house and kitchen, Angelina and some project-affected persons preferred a modern house, kitchen and lavatory. Their gesture and support to the project was lauded by the transmission company board led by the chairman, Kwame Ejalu.
On the entire project, we have a total of 65 houses that spread from Kole up to Arua. The 11 houses are completed and they are the ones we are going to hand over today. We have the remaining houses under construction, and then there are also those where we've not started constructing.
Similar projects across the country often face a lot of resistance due to high expectations by the locals and misinformation from the politicians and opinion leaders. This housing project is part of a bigger project of connecting electricity to the West Nile region that grapples with severe outages due to the lack of necessary infrastructure such as high voltage substations, power lines and transformers.
The spirit
that we've exhibited here in accepting the project and embracing it, it's the same spirit that we should always use in embracing other government programs whenever they come, because they are intended for the good. They are intended for the benefit of bettering our lives.
This is a construction which really is for life, particularly for the project affected persons. So it's my prayers that they are going to do everything possible to maintain these houses.
Transmission Company Board, led by the chairman, is committed to have West Nile region connected onto the more reliable power network by March 2023. Currently, the project progress is estimated at 69%, and that is to do with erection of foundation and towers, as well as stringing of transmission cables. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in the West Nile region.
In another development, the Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, this week castigated Lira City leaders for frustrating efforts geared towards improving service delivery. This was after two division speakers of her constituency stormed out of a joint consultative meeting organized by the city mayor in regard to the creation of area land committees. These are the details.
The move to institute area land committees for the two divisions in Lira City has resulted to a rift among city leaders. In their recent sittings, both councils rejected the proposed committees by the division mayors. Councillors questioned the legality of the committee, competence of the nominees, while others feel the existing committee left by the municipality should continue till March next year. In a joint consultative meeting organized by the city mayor Sam Atul to settle the differences, so both speakers Daniel Okelo for Lira City West and Daniel Ayela for Lira City East stormed out of the meeting in protest of the outcome.
They need to go back on a drawing board and revise what the priorities are. Why are they so interested in land?
We want to see a board of survey report. We want to know which land belongs to Lira City Council, which land belongs to Lira District.
For me, I want to believe it is also the government confusing us, not the speakers, because we need the position of the law to be clear.
We do not have the existing laws that is governing the current new created cities.
The area land committees are established under Section 64, subsection 2 of the Land Act. And it clearly states that a city division should equally appoint members of the area land committee. And you find that Article 126, Clause 2, Paragraph E of the Constitution is very clear. It states that substantive justice shall be administered without undue regard to technicality. So the matters that they are raising are merely technical in nature.
Health Minister, also Lira City woman MP, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, expressed bitterness in the manner in which some leaders are crippling development.
Right now, Punuru would be up, and Yomore would have been built, we would be building Omura. Omura is in the city east. We didn't get that money.
Acheng says government projects require titled land, and the reluctance to institute these bodies will cost the city.
So I will continue to appeal to the members. It is not about us, it is about the people we serve and the commitment that we made to the people we serve. I am hopeful that those who have understood today will do the right thing.
It's not only a risk to lose, we've already lost. One, we've lost time. Two, we've lost revenue as a local government.
Mayor Sam Atul says the city projects to raise over 400 million from land-related fees and wonders why the beneficiaries are adamant.
How on earth would a council that is supposed to benefit from land fees drag its feet in getting that fees? So that means something is making the council not think right.
Eddie Olua, UBC News.
Dialogue, consultation. We shall move to advocacy.
Parliament this week expressed dissatisfaction over the proposed fee for the replacement of a national identification card. In the new government proposal, replacement of a national ID will cost the beneficiaries 200,000 Ugandan shillings. While appearing before the Parliamentary Committee on Defence and Internal Affairs, Minister for Internal Affairs General Kahinda Otafire and officials at the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, maintained government's position on the projected enhanced national identification cards.
General Kainda Otafire, the Minister for Internal Affairs, and officials from National Identification and Registration Authority had a long engagement with the Parliamentary Committee on Defence and Internal Affairs to defend the proposed changes on the National Identification Card.
National ID is a security element, and where there is a security element, security organs should be involved. That's why the police and the intelligence and other security agencies will be involved in the identification of citizens.
A new round of the national identification is projected to start in June 2023, as the current IDs are to expire in 2024. The enhanced national IDs will have special features, including individual DNA, which are a result of changes in technology.
If there is a dispute that you are a Zimbabwean and you say Ugandan, don't you think your DNA will solve the problem?
In the revised plan, government intends to generate revenue of up to 160.4 billion from individuals accessing both express IDs and express renewal of IDs, which respectively cost 50,000 shillings each.
The first one is those who require express first-time enrollment of national ID. The assumed number is about 10%. If each paid 50,000, the projected number is 1.7, which is 10%, which will generate 86 billion. Express renewal also on this paying the same, an estimated number 1.5 will generate 75 billion.
National IDs issued with mistakes are also catered for.
The information captured on the form is also captured by the system. So if the system discovers that the mistake was done in-house, you will not be charged. You will already be charged for mistakes you yourself made.
Contention still rocks the replacement bit in case one misplaces his or her national ID. The proposed plan puts a fee of 200,000 shillings to access the service.
We think it is unfair, it is being inconsiderate, and we shall come the floor of Parliament. I don't think it will be accepted by members of Parliament, the floor, that people are extremely poor and then you charge them.
Look at those unemployed youth that don't have access to income. Where are they going to get 200,000 shillings to replace an identity card? I think they are thinking outside of the reality.
If you think it's too much, don't lose your ID. If you think it's too much, then don't lose your ID. The best way to avoid that 200,000 is not to lose your ID.
The mass renewal and enrollment exercise will kickstart between the periods of June 2023 to August 2024. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Guitabinji, UBC News.
Yes, words of Kainda Otafire. If you do not want to pay that 200,000 shillings, then do not lose your ID. Let's take a short commercial break. We'll be back with business.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
The most exciting league in the world is in full swing. And this weekend's biggest winner is you.
Watch this, I'm coming up.
It's GoTV's first open weekend. A weekend where all GoTV subscribers can enjoy all the Premier League action from 1 to 4 September. All 11 games, 6 of them live.
Watch this, I'm coming up.
And with in-depth analysis, recaps, and magazine shows, it's more than just a game. It's Premier League for everyone. So stay or get connected using the MyGoTV app and love it.
Jesus turning and scoring.
With GoTV, terms and conditions apply.
Oh, they look nice.
Thank you, honey.
level is going down.
Gather! Gather!
Yo! I tell you what. Yo!
Airtel is giving you bigger data bundles for the same price. Dial star 175 hash to choose from our range of bigger Chillax bundles that don't expire. Bigger monthly bundles, all for the same price. And stay connected longer to loved ones. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Oh, Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, Nga, you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello, is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Quantissimo! Get the 4G smartphone of your dreams today and pay as you use. Choose from the Tecno Pop 5 Pro, Tecno Pova Neo, Samsung A03 Core or Nokia C10 and pay conveniently in daily, weekly and monthly installments for a period of a year using Airtel Money. You will also enjoy free 3GB and 100% bonus data on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months. Visit any D-Lite shop or select Airtel Money branches countrywide and get one today. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. We now take you to the world of business. Now, Buganda Road Court this week sentenced 2 men to 8 years and 7 months in prison over offenses of killing 6 climbing lions in Queen Elizabeth National Park, Ishasha, in Kasese district. Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu sentenced them and noted that animals, like any human beings, deserve to have a right to be alive.
Tumuhira Vincent and Aria Robert were convicted last week on offenses of entering into a wildlife area without permission, hunting and killing of animals, and unlawful possession of animal species. State submitted that such cases are rampant and paid for a deterrent sentence to the convicts. However, during mitigation, counsel for the convicts asked court to give them a second chance since they were first-time offenders. In delivering her sentence in this matter, Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu noted that under no circumstances should the convicts have killed the climbing lions, since they also have a right to life.
Whatever the prevailing circumstances at the time of this offense, a man who is not a killer would not be tempted to launch an attack to a fierce carnivore like a lion. No.
Kamasanyu also noted that the selfish act of killing the lions affected the nature and the experiential tourism of the country, hence affecting its economy.
Unfortunately, the population of tree-climbing lions in Queen Elizabeth National Park is shrinking at a fast speed. So the revenue that would be accruing from their tourism also goes down.
With this, Magistrate Kamasanyu sentenced the convicts to 8 years and 7 months in prison to deter the would-be perpetrators of killers of animals.
Animals too have interest in their own lives. Like humans, they don't want to die. They would not wish to be brutally murdered. They were immense. They were a lot, like seeing their own die helplessly.
Tumuhira Vincent and Aria Robert killed the 6 climbing lions in 2021 at Queen Elizabeth National Park in Kasese district. Natang Rebecca, UBC News.
In another development, 7 KCCA officials were this week charged and remanded to Luzira prison over offences of fraud, abuse of office causing financial loss of over 400 million shillings to government. The 7 were paraded at the Anti-Corruption Court before Magistrate John Achiro. They pleaded not guilty to the alleged offences.
The accused Gota Jonathan, Kalema Joseph, Kamia Richard, Birungi Teddy, Tusime Grace, Chidiowa Sozi, and Susan Nabachebi have appeared at the Anti-Corruption Court in Kororo before Magistrate Joan Achiro for plea taking. They were charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to defraud eligible vendors of Wandegea Market, of stores and lock-up shops.
Count 4, conspiracy to defraud, contrary to Section 309 of the Penal Code Act as amended between 2014 and 2020 at Wandegea in Kampala City, conspired to defraud chicken roasters of stalls in Wandegea Market by fraudulently signing memorandum of understanding between themselves, in brackets, Gita and Kalema.
They pleaded not guilty. Prosecution, led by Harriet Ongom, prayed to court to set the hearing date. Although the defense legal team was ready to apply for bail, this was impossible due to court's limited time. With this, Magistrate John Achiro set 30th of August 2022 for the accused to apply for bail. The accused persons were remanded to Ruzila Government Prison. Court also issued criminal summons against Harriet Molondo, Esau Joffrey, Asaba Sol, and Waligo Wilberforce to appear in court.
Criminal summons to issue 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remanded.
The accused were represented by Counsel Kaiwa Wilbur and Nabukenya Rachel. Nathan Rebecca, UBC News.
Now, ways in which Uganda should leverage integration at both the regional and continental levels were this week highlighted during the 6th High-Level Economic Growth Forum. Topics ranging from foreign direct investment, economic free zones, taxation and trade agreements were discussed, as I reported.
How much does government influence and direct FDIs to align them with our country's potentials and added advantages?
As Uganda continues to accommodate foreign direct investment, policymakers have been tasked to pay keen interest to their impact on the local economy so as to influence appropriate and favorable policy measures.
So while foreign investment in Uganda has been increasing in recent years, what this investment looks like and the extent to which it's yielding significant returns for the local economy has been largely an open question. And so the analysis that we do tries to fill this gap by leveraging detailed tax administration data and linking this with data on foreign direct investment in Uganda.
We need to see FDI more integrated and with significant linkages to the local economy, backward demand linkages. When we do this, that will enhance the productivity of the real economy, especially from the small and micro enterprises.
Attracting more investment into special economic zones will boost Uganda's manufacturing and export capacity. In financial year 2019-2020, Uganda Free Zone's contribution to total export earnings increased to $1.247 billion from $154 million.
Most of our imports are coming in from China, and that's largely derived from a lot of the establishment of the free zones that were set up in that country. Just visiting Guangzhou many years ago, you just see hundreds and hundreds of acreage of some of that free zones of literally anything. Now we have 32 free zones, and I think Mr. Alinda will talk about it. But what is very interesting is the fact that this has increased capital investment to close to $587 million, which is, if you look at the trajectory, it means there's been a steady growth, albeit the fact that it started not very long ago.
At the conference, some investors have been faulted for trying to outsmart the law in order to leverage more profitable policies.
For example, export of unprocessed minerals is banned in this country. But then you find someone wanting to get a free zones license to export unprocessed, so circumventing the rules. And I also noticed that people used to enjoy tax holidays. After they end, now they want the same business to be registered as a special in a special economic zone so that they can continue enjoying.
It is important to note that by the end of the financial year 2021-22, Uganda's GDP per capita stood at $1,046. Wadulo Arnold, UBC News in Kampala.
Oh, they look nice.
Thank you, honey.
You guys gather, it's going down. Gather! Gather! Yo!
I tell you what. Yo!
Airtel is giving you bigger data bundles for the same price. Dial *175# to choose from our range of bigger Chillax bundles that don't expire. Bigger monthly bundles, all for the same price, and stay connected longer to loved ones. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. It's now time for sports. The 10th Ndeje University Open Volleyball Championship that attracted 24 teams has climaxed with the home team winning the university crown, as these details share with us.
On the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the Ndeje University Open Volleyball Championship, the women's home team emerged victorious in the universities category. In the men's university category, Bugema University lifted the crown after edging Ndeje and Chambogo in a single round-robin contest.
10th edition of the Ndeje Volleyball Open has been very well attended. Of course, we have had institutions, universities have come on board, corporate companies have also come on board, and of course, majority of the clubs that play volleyball in the country are also here. So I think it's better than the previous edition when we talk about attendance.
The corporate category was won by Centenary Bank, while both clubs' finals were postponed following a heavy downpour. At a later date, Uganda Christian University will play Sport S in the men's club final, while Ndeje University will battle Sport S for the ladies' club's crown. John Barnes Sentamo reporting.
Yes, and that brings us to the end of our weekly roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. Thank you for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Arnold, and stay tuned for more news in our subsequent bulletins.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My name is Charles Peter Maiga, the Katikiro of Buganda. It's very important to groom and nurture children into responsible citizens, but that doesn't mean that we've got to beat them